Hello. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Jamie. Hello. Jessica, hi. Hi. Happy Sunday. Thanks for starting to join in. And I'm just gonna check the desktop screen over here. Miss you too. Okay. Okay. Hello, hello. I'll give this another couple moments while you all get comfortable, have everything that you need nearby. Hi, Claire. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Hello to Tracy and Michaela. Lovely to have you in class. Josephine, Jed. Hi. Okay. Ooh, Kate just joined. Hi, hi, hi. Meow, meow, meow. Yay. It feels so good to laugh with other people or because of other people. So thank you for that. Okay, it seems like there's a crew, so let's get started. Join me, hey. Join me in a seat, please. Somewhere near the top of your mat or the middle of your mat, whatever feels right. And I'm going to begin with shins crossed. And you can take that or have your legs out straight for a few moments. And while I was asking for suggestions for today, something that came up, which I think collectively perhaps we're all experiencing, is some anxiety, right? The sense of urgency maybe, or for me it's this big uncertainty that's coming through. And even though a lot of words are going around like isolation and quarantine, and there's a lot of interpersonal space that we have here to get to know ourselves, how we feel, and what we want. I think there's also this joining together, or this sense of togetherness that's coming through at the same time. So we're gaining our interpersonal intelligence, hopefully. Hi, if you're joining, join in a seat. We'll get started there. There hopefully is a sense of togetherness that's coming through as well, because it's not just one state or one country. It's things are swiftly and rapidly moving right now all over. So let's take a moment to tune into our intra, I-N-T-R-A, personal intelligence, which is what you have here with yourself. So closing down the eyes, and come into your feeling body. How do you feel? And just begin to follow the sensations around your body. And start to feel your body filling with life, with breath, with all of that movement that goes around internally all day, rapidly changing. And take a moment to acknowledge yourself as an intelligent being. We are all gifted intelligence on this conscious plane. And we might gravitate more strongly towards one style or one type of intelligence than another, but we are all with intelligence. There is so much intelligence in our body. And there's so much intelligence that can come through our conscious mental space. And so even if you have been feeling anxious, maybe allow gratitude to settle that anxiousness and just know, you're here, you're here. You can slow down and you can follow your breath. And then inviting in a compassionate gesture, left hand to the low belly, right hand just above the heart space. And spread out your fingers. Feel as much of that surface as you can of your belly and your chest. And following the inhale, fill yourself up and invite in how it is you might feel more together. More togetherness as you inhale, and exhale to just surrender to how you feel right now. Inhaling together. Exhale, take the present moment as it comes. And 2 more rounds. We'll end with that exhale and a gentle bow, bringing the hands forward towards the floor. Release the back of the head. And take a moment to just be here in total respect and reverence for yourself and your body and your practice. And then as that feels complete, start to walk yourself up. Lift your heart, open your eyes. Hello. Let's uncross the legs. Just bring them out in front of us. Find your sitting bones. Lift tall and back through the spine. Maybe a little bit of engagement of the abdominals as you lean away from your thighs in this gentle but active seat. And then let's extend the arms away from the chest. Open the palms up to the ceiling. Lift your heart. Inhale, lean the head back. And as you exhale, right elbow wraps underneath the left. Either give yourself a big hug or wrap into your Eagle Garudasana arms. I'll turn a little bit so you can see the wrap. So elbows crossed, wrists crossed, fingers open. Seat presses down. Inhale and lift the elbows up. As we exhale, we'll curl the upper back and bring the elbows towards the belly button. This time as we inhale and lean back, flex the feet, lift the heels off of the floor. Lift the elbows up. Exhale, bringing the heels down, round the upper back, drop the elbows. One more time, and you can do this leaning back without the heel lift, or give it a shot. And then place the heels down, round into your upper back. Unwrap the arms, reach wide away from the chest as the spine lifts tall. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, left elbow wraps underneath the right. Either a big hug across the chest or your full eagle wrap arms. Inhale, lean back, lift the elbows up. Exhale and round into your upper back here, drop the elbows down. This time adding in a little boat, leaning back into your sitting bones, lift your heels, lift the elbows. And then exhale, place it down, round the upper back. Last time, inhale, engage the legs, lean back, lift. And heels down, elbows towards the center of the belly. Inhale, we'll open up, lean back for boat. Heels can stay, or knees rather, can stay bent, or maybe you kick through the heels, lengthening, lifting for 5, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands back behind you as you plant your feet down. Open your collarbones, lift your seat, press back. Lean the head if you'd like. Inhale here, squeeze the bum. And as you exhale, lower your seat. Cross over your shins, hands to floor. Come through your hands and knees. press back through child's pose. And just take your time, maybe reaching one arm at a time, really lengthen out through your side waist. Press your hips back towards your heels. Don't worry if your bum's really high in the air, it's totally okay. Looking down at the mat for a moment, letting the throat just close, letting the head turn, maybe your forehead massages on the mat. Inhale, we'll start to create a little flow. Come forward into cow pose, ribs down, heart wide and up. As you exhale, tuck your toes, press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to a cat pose. So start to drop your knees as you keep your back flexed towards the ceiling, rounding in. And then exhale, pull the heart neutral and tap the chin to the floor. Inhale through cow. Exhale, down dog. Tuck your toes, send your hips up and down. Inhale through cat pose, rounded spine, knees down. Exhale, follow the heart through neutral, bend your elbows, tap your chin towards the floor. Inhale through cow. Downward facing dog. Inhale through cat. And exhale to tap the chin towards the earth, elbows tight to your sides. Back up to cow. This time staying in downward facing dog. Go on and pedal out through your legs as you might need to adjust. Rooting the fingers down. Being with your breath. And one more slow exhale, knees will start to bend. And then step that left foot towards the left wrist. Lean into the right hand. Take a big circle with your left arm. Elbow could stay bent. Open the chest. And then close that hand down inside of the left foot. Step your right foot forward. We'll land in a squat near the top of the mat. Now, if a deep squat is too much to start, totally fine. You can be more in a neutral kind of half squat position. If you're here, drop into your heels, spread your feet down on the floor, lift your spine up, take a breath. And exhale, we'll turn this into fold. So spin your big toes in, drop your spine over your thighs, exhale. Sweep your hands back and up behind you. Your palms will begin to face me at the front of this room or the front of your camera. Pressing up through the thumbs. And then bend your knees, lift yourself up, take your hands forward with a big swing and a reach. Inhale overhead. Exhale, hands through heart, forward fold. Lengthen the spine halfway. Step back to your high plank pose. Good pause. Maybe bring your feet a little bit wider than your usual plank for this one. Feel the toe mounds really spreading, the fingertips rooting. Lengthening up through the arms. Open the collarbones even more. Start to drag forward, bend your elbows, come to belly. Roll the shoulder heads up. Use the upper back to pull your heart forward and through cobra pose. Really low. One more breath. Downward facing dog, you'll meet. Lean up and back. You're really bending through the knees. Send the seat back. We'll spring the right foot towards the right wrist. A big wide lunge. Lean into the left hand. Sweep your right arm up. Open your chest. Maybe let the elbow bend. Keep pushing against the floor. One more breath. Find your squat at the top of the mat. Right hand down. Left foot's gonna step forward and release us into the pose. Feel a sense of lifting the spine as the feet root us down. Forward fold. Lift your bum, parallel your feet, And release the spine. Hands press back and away and up. Stand all the way up, arms swing overhead. Maybe the gentlest back bend, hands through heart, forward fold. Halfway lift, high plank position. Maybe a little more width again, one last time. Heart comes wide and forward, come down. Cobra, roll the shoulder heads. Lift the upper back to meet the shoulder blades, nice and strong. And shift it back to downward facing dog. Take your right heel and press it to the sky. Let the weight transfer so it feels pretty even between both hands and the left heel. Pull the right knee towards the chest, and then rock yourself forward and step your right foot down. We'll take the left knee to the floor, but let's bring it right underneath the hip. So a little more structure here in this low lunge. Hug the hips towards each other, drop your tailbone neutral, reach your arms up overhead, clasp your elbows together. Sink down and through your feet, and then pull your feet towards each other as you lift your heart, lean back, press the armpits up. One more breath. And release hands to floor. Lift that back leg, step the feet together at the top of the mat, and fold. Bend your knees, lower your seat, lift your heart into chair. One more breath, push down, lengthen up, and fold forward. Halfway lift. And flow to downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa, maybe your inner thighs are together this time. Up dog or cobra to downward facing dog. Take the left heel and reach it to the sky. Rooting through the hands and dropping through the right heel. And then begin to pull the left thigh towards the belly. And step the foot to the hands. Take the right knee, bring it to the earth, just underneath that hip, or as best as you can. Come into a neutral-ish pelvis, drop the tail, lift the heart up, both arms come up and overhead, clasp opposite elbows. We'll be here for 3. Lifting the ribs, let your shoulders lift up if they want to. And hands to floor. Press through the back foot. Step forward and fold at the top of the mat, feet closer together. Chair pose with your inhale. One more breath. And fold down. Halfway lift. High plank pose. Travel to downward facing dog. And then come down into your shins, bring your big toes together and sit back on your heels. From here, we'll set up for rabbit's pose. I'm gonna flip around so you have a better visual of the spine as we come into this position. So, stage 1 is a tight little child's pose, reaching the hands back for the heels and gently tucking the chin towards the chest. That way, when we lift our bum up into the position, this flattest part of the top of our head will be lightly carrying support. Not shoving the head down, but just a little bit of pressure atop the crown. So, begin to engage through your inner legs, inner thighs, pelvic floor. Spread your belly wide, holding your heels, you'll tuck and lift the bum up. Gently draw your shoulder blades apart. For 2 more breaths.
To release, sit back onto your heels, rest in the neutral neck, child's pose, hands back, wiggle the fingers. I'll meet you there. Sliding your arms forward, your choice of movement to downward facing dog. You can flow through the floor, forward into a cobra up dog variation, and shift back into downward facing dog. Pressing the right heel to the sky. This time bend the knee, lift the inner thigh up, and maybe start to open the inner leg towards the right side of the room. Keep a firm squeeze of the heel towards the sitting bone. One more breath. And knee to nose. Step the foot down, root the heel, press through the back foot to rise up. High crescent, catch your elbows overhead. If you need to bend your back knee, totally okay. Otherwise, press up, lift the ribs, find some arch to the back. One more breath here. As you exhale, keep yourself in your right foot, press your hands back behind you, float the heart. Strong press through your left thigh. And we'll spin open and up into warrior two, left heel roots down. Lift the spine just a bit. Traction the heels towards each other. And then take the gaze over your right middle finger. Two more breaths. Flip that right palm, press it up and back, long waist, reverse the warrior. And hands to floor. High plank pose. Bring your inner ankles together. Take the weight into your right hand. Drop your heels to the right. Open up side plank to the left side of your back. Close the left hand down. Your choice to move to downward facing dog. Three breaths. Soften the exhale through your nostrils. Hug into your joints. Hug the spine. Left heel will press to the sky. Whenever you're ready, extend. Pull the heel towards the bum. Lift the inner knee up. One more breath. And pull that thigh to chest up through. Rooting through the back foot, come into high crescent. Elbow bind variation will lift up. Big wide heart. And then we'll release that. We'll find a bit of coming together into the spine, leaning at a diagonal over the left thigh. Press into the left foot. Lift the right thigh up and back. And a hold in our warrior two. Begin to drop the right heel open out. Looking over the left middle finger, maybe the sense of floating here, suspended from space and time. And then flip that left palm, press up and back and reverse the warrior. And cartwheel the hands to find your high plank, ankles together. Left hand is the base. Drop your heels to the left. Use your inner thighs to lift up. Lean back into your left shoulder blade. Right hand to the sky. Side plank. Right hand to the floor. Bring the knees down. Travel to down dog. Take your time. A slow breath here. And out. Bringing the down to the floor. Walk your hands back just a little bit so we're in a neutral tabletop position. Let's start to pull the right elbow up towards the ceiling and just move it a little bit around in space. Get into the right ribs and the right waist. And then we'll weave the right arm through the left side of the room until the outer arm comes down, leaning into that shoulder and adjusting your hips and your knees. And next exhale, start to unravel. Pull the elbow up, and then this time open the arm and hand to floor. Left side, take the elbow, slice it up, and just move it around a little bit. Adjusting your right hand to a place that feels supportive on the floor. And then when you're ready, weave that left arm through and down. And rest the temple on the earth. Adjust the hips. And allow the heaviness to come down into the shoulder. Invite lightness of breath. Lift yourself up, pull the left elbow, and then extend the left arm, wiggle the fingers, and release the shape. Good. Sit back onto your heels, once more into rabbit's pose. Now, this time around, you can remain with your hands to hold your heels if you'd like as you come up into the shape, or you can hook your hands behind your back in a bind. Start to draw your armpits back and away. And as you come up, gently press the top of the head as you draw your inner thighs strongly together. Press the shins and knees down to support your spine here in flexion. And see if you can find that gentle balance of hugging the belly into the back without suffocating your diaphragm. Slowly release the bind if you have it. Release yourself back. Untuck the chin. Child's pose. Take a breath or two there. And then shift back to downward facing dog however you'd like. Just want to check in if anyone is joining. It's so nice to have you. Hi. Okay. Downward facing dog. Right heel to the sky. Bend the knee and lift the thigh, open the hip, and swing the foot between the hands. High crescent without the elbow bind this time. Let's just lift up. And as we exhale, we'll press and lean over the right foot. This time, come off of the floor with the left toes. Bring your heart forward, airplane. Start to bend your right knee if you can. Drop into the heel, hover. Imagine your right sitting bone towards your right heel. And then step back, open out, warrior two. Right into reverse warrior. And then bring your right elbow to press just inside of the right knee. Fingers forward, open the hand, roll the heart up into this version of extended side angle. So really strong, press the knee and the elbow together. Try not to let this knee sickle inwards, so it's pressing out towards the pinky edge of your foot. Left hand can rest by your waist, or you can come forward, just 2 more breaths. Press all the way up to stand. Straighten out your right leg by gently sucking up the thigh, lift the fingers, and then enter triangle pose, heart forward, and then fingertips down. I like to place my hand outside of the right foot, but you can place it inside of the shin if you need to. You can even hold your right hip. With the left arm up overhead, let's just breathe into the expansiveness of this shape, fighting gravity with our spine. One more breath. Bend your right knee so you can close your left hand down to the floor. Open out to the right side of your mat, side plank. Lift the right arm, float the right foot up and back, press away from the earth. Really strong. And then pull your right knee to your chest without using your hand or with using your hand. Whatever makes sense for you. Let's step the right foot forward to the top of the mat. Left foot forward, we drop down into a squat. Sit to your depth. Lean back into the heels. Imagine the fronts of your ankles opening. From here, we find a seat. Take your left leg out in front of you. Take this right knee and stack it over the left foot. Half Gomukhasana. So the knees are stacked. We'll press the left thigh down and lean the heart forward. Hands might begin to walk forward. And then eventually, maybe your chin closes down and rests on the right knee. Breathe where you're feeling this the most. Taking it one step further, if you have the flexibility in your spine, you can clasp your hands around the outer edge of your foot, wing your elbows up and dip your head. Sit up straight, lean back, uncross your leg, pull your knees to your chest, rock back and forth. Eventually, the momentum of this will take our heels, crossing at the ankles towards our sitting bones. We'll press down, lift the bum up, step or hop back high to low plank. Cobra, upward facing, press the earth, wide open the chest. Downward facing dog. Slow breath in and out. And again. Left heel presses to the sky. Bend the knee, lift the thigh, open the hip, and swing that foot between the hands. High crescent, just to lift the spine up out of the left thigh, and then lean the crescent, press the hands back, turn it into airplane. So press through that left leg nice and strongly, reach your right toes back, heart forward, gaze down. And then pull the right toes back as you bend your left knee, really drop the seat, and then take it open warrior two. From here, reversing that warrior up and back, press back. And then this version today of our side angle, pressing the inner left knee and the outer left elbow together. Fingers stay wide, heart rolls up, belly in. Right arm might come overhead. Last two. And release. Right hand to the floor. Open out into your Vashisthasana side plank. Drop your right heel. Swing that left leg back. Press the earth. Open the heart. Resist any back bending. Instead, just hug into all of your center. And then left leg, if you need to hold it, just hold it. Otherwise, swing the foot forward, toes out. Step forward, squat, top of mat. Maybe roll out the wrists, flick the fingers for a moment. Slow breath here. And release to the bum. Right leg out. Left knee over. Half Gomukhasana. Press down through your sitting bones, lean your heart forward. Take your time with it. We're here about 10 solid breaths. Long spine reaching. If the chin wants to jut forward, which is like the thing that I love to do, just close it. Lengthen the back of the neck and take your time. If you're going any further, clasp the hands to the outer edge of that right foot, wing the elbows up and drop the skull. Let the elbows relax, lift your spine up tall, uncross the legs, pedal them out, and then draw your knees in and just start to rock and roll. And when you're ready, you'll play with crossing the ankles, pulling the heels towards your center bones, bringing the hands down in front of you. Whoop, lift the bum. It feels like a little push away from the earth. Travel to high plank, halfway, and then this time all the way down. Take a moment to bring your forearms forward in front of you. Spread your fingers out. Press your heart up into Sphinx. Take just a gentle Sphinx. If you need to drop the head, turn right and left. Ooh. Sorry, noticed a low battery. I saved it. The battery was low. How are my bangs? Hi. Okay, so if you missed that, we're joining in Sphinx pose. I'm not sure when that turned off. My apologies. Let's get back into it. So Sphinx. Letting the belly be a little loose in this one if you'd like. Bring the weight into the forearms and then pull lightly back through the fingers to lift the chest. Closing the throat down, turning the chin right and left a couple times. Good. And then we'll play with some lifts here. I'll turn to the side so you can see. Really focusing on pressing down through the feet, pulling the belly up off of the floor, engage the inner knees, and then very slowly place that back down and lift the head back. So there's a sense of curling into yourself, lifting up off of the floor as high as you can. Come into your center, and then release and press back. Take 4 more rounds. Pressing the floor away, slowly come in, draw towards your middle, and then actively bring yourself down. A little release. With 3. Last 2. And your last one. And release. Take a moment to rest on your belly. Turn your gaze one cheek, one way. Maybe shake the hips a little there. And then turn the cheek the other way. And setting up for dolphin pose. Make sure I can see you. So from our forearms, let's lean back into our seat, almost like we're going towards child's pose. Fingers wide, but if you're in the habit of bringing your wrists or your fingers to cross and press down into the fleshy part of your hands, you're welcome to find that triangular shape. Start to look between the legs as you drop your head down, nice and heavy. And then firm your armpits. So if someone were to place a fist in there, it would resist being sunken. Keep pressing as you lift your tail up. Keep your knees bent as much as you need, as if you could bring one leg in at a time, and then walk the feet in and place them down on the floor. Holding here, breathing. Lifting your tail. Firming the armpits, wrapping the triceps in. Last 2 breaths. And then bring your knees down. As you come out of the shape, a few rounds of cow pat. Maybe turning the fingers in different directions, or maybe just rocking side to side. After that, come back onto the belly. We'll do one more posture, which I think really alleviates anxiety, and that's bow pose. And for some of us, it might be anxiety-inducing, but if we approach it with care and no concern of the final outcome, maybe just being with your breath, you'll find a sense of release through the upper chest, where most of our anxiety gets stored. So start to actively pull your heels towards your bum, root your pubic bone down. For a moment, press your feet up to the ceiling so you're feeling your thighs do some work here, and then roll or wrap your shoulder heads back as you reach your hands for your ankles. Start to press your shins into your hands, and then you might begin to rock. Good. Squeezing your glutes, maybe pointing your toes, keep leaning back through the skull, or just let the head rest down towards the floor. One more breath. And release. Keep the knees bent, windshield wiper those side to side. Pressing back into high plank in a moment or so. Draw your inner thighs together nice and strong. Find some hugging into your spine. Let that feel balancing after that bow pose. And then downward facing dog. 2 rounds of breath. Start to bring your right shin forward as you lean into your right hip. As you do that, bring your left knee in and down to the floor, somewhere also in line with the left hip. Start to wiggle your chest a little so you can rock on your thigh and find a lean forward somewhere over that right knee. As the weight settles down into the right leg, maybe begin to walk your hands towards your right foot. And then begin to walk your hands over and off the right side of the mat. Let the navel twist with you to the right and down. Walk the hands back in a little bit closer to the body. Let's bring the right hand down at a diagonal underneath the shoulder. And from here, begin to spin your knees to the ceiling. Walk your feet in so they're a little bit more in line with your sitting bones. The right fingers will point away from the body. They might even turn back towards the back of the mat. We'll start to press the feet in the right hand, lift the spine up, and then spin the heart, reach the left hand overhead. Bring the left hand to touch the heart center, lower your seat to the floor with control, and then bring your hands forward. And we're just gonna scooch the right leg back, downward facing dog. Take the left shin forward somewhere onto the floor, and then rest down onto the left hip. Let your right thigh slide in, the knee comes down as well. Adjust your weight on your left thigh and sitting, not sitting bone, but the side of your hip there. And then just walk your weight somewhere forward-ish and down. And just tuning in if you feel a little more clear since you started this practice. And hopefully a little bit more of the sense of togetherness as we share this virtual space with each other. But as well as alleviating the mental, rumination that can happen when we're alone. Okay, and let's lift the chest and walk towards the left foot. And then walk away from the foot over to the left. Let the navel spin with you, a bit of a twist here. You might also know this posture especially as stag or stag twist. Okay, setting up for that wild thing-like pose. We'll place the left hand down on a diagonal from the shoulder, lifting up through the heart. Again, your fingers are facing away from your left arm, or they might spin just a bit back to the back room behind you, or back to the left. We'll lift the knees up, bring the feet down, find your bum, and then press away. Lift up nice and steady in the arm, and then roll the heart towards the ceiling, right arm back, head relaxes back for 3. Right hand to the heart, turn, lower your seat. This time we'll flip around and meet at the top of the mat. Soles of feet together, Baddha Konasana. Go ahead and slide your heels as close to the groin as you can get them. And then I like to basket my hands underneath the pinky edges of my feet and then walk my sitting bones a little closer. Let's round into the upper back to start. Let the shoulders shrug. Stretch some of that skin. And then just lightly lift the rib cage up. Rock the shoulders down into their space. Try not to pull the shoulders down, but instead lift the heart to meet them. Neutral chin. Last 2 breaths. And release. Close the knees towards each other. Find your sitting bones once again. We'll hold boat pose. Press through the heels. This time, maybe the arms come up. Maybe they reach down by your side. Maybe they hold the legs. We're here for 4 more breaths. So much presence with yourself. Here I am, here I am, here I am. Lower the heels. Release the hands. Lift the heart up. Your choice. Now, if you'd like your reverse tabletop proper, we'll press out through the toes. Press the big toes down as you pull the spine back, lean the head. You could also take this with the knees bent. Press the floor, wide collarbones. Your call for 3 more breaths. Use your legs. And release your seat to the floor. Take your hands, shake out your wrists in front of you. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna flip to the side so you can see. Come onto your back. Take up some space there, either in your constructive rest, knocking your inner knees together, or maybe your reclined Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together, knees apart. And just welcome in the sensation of the floor below you, on your back. The floor in here is really cool, and it feels very nurturing right now to have some cool sensation on my skin. Settling the heart back down, embracing your internal rhythm. Let's set up for bridge pose. Go on and turn the heels in towards sitting bones or outer hips with distance. Start to tuck the shoulder blades onto the back, press down and lift up. Create some length in the neck by rolling the chin back and pressing the skull into the floor. As you get your arms underneath you, and then draw the chin towards the chest and lift the pelvis up nice and strong. From here today, if you'd like, press one foot to the sky, and then try the other foot. Release the grip of your bind, bring your spine down to the mat, and just move a little bit to release that. Pausing to rest. So pausing to rest, taking one more bridge pose, or setting up for a wheel pose. Bringing your hands to the floor, pressing your feet, press down, flip the skull, very flat part of the head down, and then press into your arms, press into your feet, and breathe. Coming out of the shape when you're ready, taking a moment, flat on the back. And then preparing a twist. Let your hips lift when you're ready, swivel them to the left, let your knees drop to the right. Gentle in the belly, easy with the breath. Maybe the mouth opens. Maybe some sound wants to come out. Flip your knees up to the ceiling again. Lift and pivot your hips to the right. Let your knees fall to the left. Second side of your twist. neutral back. Let's bring all 4 limbs up to the ceiling. Let yourself just feel the suspension here, the releasing of the shoulders and the hips down to the floor. And then we'll begin to shake through the limbs. Let the breath move a little more quickly, perhaps. Letting out a sigh or a ha ha ha, ha. Just moving the breath through. And then pause, feel the tingles, and then take the limbs down. So, your choice of your resting shape today.
And in light of the time as well, I'll invite you to take an extra Shavasana on your own at home, or just start to rest now, or the option to do this simple breath work with me as we close class today together. So the breath I'm going to offer us is Brahmari breathing, or Brahmari breathing, which is like a bumblebee breath. And essentially, this will help move the mucus around between the heart and the throat. And it also helps still and calm this area where anxiety and stress might begin to settle. The breath itself is pretty simple. As you get into a comfortable seat, your hands can rest down on your thighs and Jnana Mudra, bringing the pointer finger and thumbs together. Sitting up nice and tall, the inhale will be very slow through the nostrils, and the exhale, you'll just hum like a bumblebee floating around your head. And taking a few rounds like that. And as you do this, try and move the breath around so you're really feeling it kind of open up and awaken all of these different spaces between the roof of the mouth and the center of your heart. Okay, I'll do a few rounds with you here. Returning to your natural rhythm of breath, inviting joy, love, peace into your heart. Appreciating yourself in all of the ways that you shine in intelligence. We'll close with a simple gesture of our hands together at our heart. I have 1 minute left, so let's hold on to that. Let's savor this time. Thank you so much for spending, again, some live yoga with me here at Flex and Flow. And I love you. Have a beautiful evening. Namaste. Feel free to ask a question or to just log off, and I hope you rest really well this evening also.